Hello, welcome to the second of our Headstart webinars. Thank you to all of you that have joined today, and obviously those of you that have come back for a second go. Today we're going to be looking at how to use LinkedIn and some other forms of social media in order to run your job search. So again, just a quick introduction. And again, if you were here last time, apologies that boring you again. 21 years in recruitment for me, 18 years with a corporate. Moved to Wade McDonald 3 years ago as managing director. Predominantly, I've recruited within the finance space, but I've run teams across multi-divisions, HR, legal, procurement, so most head office functions. Wade McDonald have been going for 30 years. We focus in finance, HR, and data science. And any of the staff there would be very happy to talk to you about your specific sectors. So, social media, why would we use it when we're looking for work? So obviously there's a number of plus points to social media. If used properly and proactively, it can definitely help in sourcing your next role. It will enable prospective employers to reach out to you, so you can sit there while they do searches and find you. It will offer you thought-leading information which hopefully can assist with your targeted job search. It might tell you industries that are particularly busy, businesses that are growing, etc. So you can use that to try and help your direct sourcing. It enables your networking. You can reconnect with ex-colleagues. You can look at the institutes that you might be a part of to see what they're saying. You can join LinkedIn groups. All of these things, again, from a networking perspective, can both help with your job search or just generally for keeping in touch with people and finding out what is going on. And the majority information is accessible online. So therefore, it's very important that you've got a professional online presence. We'll talk about that as we go through, but this might be the first thing that somebody sees of you, so make sure you're representing yourself in a way that you would be happy to be represented. LinkedIn. So the first thing we'd always say, and it's going to talk about most, is just make sure you've got a comprehensive and well-presented profile if you've bothered to set one up. If you're not, and you're using it for your job search, then you're better off almost not having one, because a sloppy profile may represent you as a sloppy professional and therefore get in the way of your actual job search. Facebook, mentioned this, it's probably not going to be where most of you will be looking for work, though you will see some roles that are advertised on there occasionally. But before you start looking, just make sure that your security settings are set up as you would want them to be. People will look at your Facebook profile if you get an interview, and if things aren't hidden or are not only available to be seen by your friends, then you might show things you don't want to show to a prospective employer. I guess a rule of mine is don't put anything online that you wouldn't want your mum to see, and if you live by that, you'll probably be okay. With Twitter, just to try and make sure that you're not too controversial on there, especially old tweets. If they are, you probably want them hidden. I always tell a story of a professional footballer called Andre Gray, who was getting his first England call up when he played for Watford. Unfortunately, someone pulled out some tweets that he'd made when he was about 15 or 16 years old, and he got withdrawn from the England squad. What he'd written was obviously controversial, not politically correct, but it came back to haunt him. So just be very careful with what you are putting on there. And the other downside of social media, which can be sometimes, is that if organisations are recruiting directly, put a job out on LinkedIn, it may actually stay live for a number of months after they filled it. That won't be because of anything they're trying to do to fool you. It's just the way that sometimes the settings are, and if they aren't proactive about it, it could make you think that the job market is actually stronger than it is. Okay, so LinkedIn, what is it? Well, basically 690 million users, 200 countries. It's a professional networking site. It can be used as a virtual CV platform. It can be used by influencers to channel their opinions and to develop thought leadership. It can be used by businesses as a job board function and a headhunting tool, and it's definitely used by recruiters, both internal and external, for sourcing professionals for the roles that they're looking for. We'll talk through again later to see the best ways of making sure that you are picked out by recruiters for the sorts of roles that you want to be. But they're the main reasons that it's used. The photo. So number one on your LinkedIn profile, the first thing you've got to put up there. You may not believe it, but some potential new connections won't actually accept your invitation without a photo. Statistically, people are 7 times more likely to view you with a photo. This contradicts the advice that I was giving last week on CVs, where I would recommend you don't have a photo. On LinkedIn, you definitely need one. So the photograph will humanise you and makes you appear approachable. Make sure that the photo puts you over with the right impression. So what you're trying to do is have your head, your neck, and possibly the top of your shoulders. Dress as you would do for work. It's a professional career platform. That doesn't mean you have to go and put a suit on if you wouldn't normally wear one to work, but you want to look as if as you would do when you go to work, so that people can actually target, or your target audience sees the person that you want them to see. Try and use a current picture so the reader's not too surprised when they meet you and you look very different. This is probably again a bit naughty of me to say, because if you look at my LinkedIn photo afterwards, I've still got hair. However, it's not that old. It's just unfortunately gone very, very quickly. And try and use the same photo across all professional networking sites. It will make you more recognizable, so it's brand consistency for you. Okay, apart from your face photo, along the top, you've got a banner photo. And there's many different ways that you could try and represent yourself or put in there as the banner photo. But a few ideas here. So you might go company branded. We've got the Wade McDonald logo and some of our company branded goodies. If you work in sales or marketing, your company branding could definitely be a good thing, because obviously you're trying to show who you are. You're not just using it to find a new job. You might go for a team photo. So many people incorporate a photo of themselves with their team or their colleagues. Hobbies, if you've got a particularly interesting hobby, if you've climbed a mountain, you might want to show that at the top. If you've won a sporting event, you might want to show yourself holding the trophy. But something like that could enhance your application for roles. If you do public speaking, you might want to show yourself actually stood up in front of a crowd of people. Or if you've presented at industrial or industry events even, a photo of you presenting might be a really nice way to represent yourself. If you've won awards through work, again, showing that could be a good thing to sell yourself. And those of you that are quite good on computers might be able to do a montage of different photos that represent you, your achievements, your company, etc. So lots of different ways of doing it, but what I would say is a photo in the banner is important. Try not just to leave with this standard LinkedIn picture that's put there. Okay, the next thing you need is a headline. And you only have 120 characters or less to do this. So it needs to be a brief description. It goes next to your name and it shows up in the search results. So you should be trying to entice the readers into clicking through and having a little bit more of a look at you. So tailor your profile to your target audience. Use recognizable and searchable job titles. Again, the example I always give here is from years ago. Somebody who worked at Walker's had the title of a potato accountant. It's one of my favourite job titles I think that I've ever come across, but nobody really knew what a potato accountant did, other than maybe you count potatoes. Was in fact a management accounting role, and in that scenario, you'd be better off calling yourself a management accountant than a potato accountant, so that you come up in searches. Include a value proposition within the headline. So try and sell your skill set. Words such as commercially focused, technical, value added, cost savings, etc. Could be a way of representing yourself at the moment, but don't oversell. You want to appear human. I wouldn't go with top performing, superior, best, world class, because it might give a sign of arrogance, which you don't want to highlight at that point. Okay, the next thing will be a personal summary. Your personal summary shouldn't be that different from your CV. So you want to be succinct and concise, 3 to 5 short paragraphs, might be some bullet points. Really, you're just trying to highlight your key skills and qualifications at this point. Focus on ensuring your personal summary is achievement driven. You want people to see what you've achieved, not just what you do. And you might want to highlight industry sectors that you've been employed within at this point as well. Okay, the next section will be your work history. So always ensure this is up to date. As we said, make sure the job titles are recognisable. You might want to write management accountant and then in brackets put potato accountants, just in case someone's searching potato accountant. But you definitely want it to be as recognisable as possible externally. Pay specific attention to keywords in the jobs that you're targeting to ensure that that experience is highlighted within your career history. Recruiters will search on keywords, so it's really, really important that you do that. Have a couple of key achievements for every job. And when you're describing your early career, avoid lengthy descriptions, same as with your CV. Keep those details to a bare minimum. The dates on LinkedIn need to be consistent with your CV. If you get an interview off your CV and your LinkedIn is different, people will question why, and it could start you off on a bad footing during an interview. Okay, recommendations. So really these are the same as testimonials, but they sit on your LinkedIn page. Readers are generally impressed to see who is associated with you and who rates you highly. So reach out to ex-managers, ex-colleagues, customers, networking partners, ask them for recommendations. Again, if you looked at my LinkedIn, there's a number there. Some are people that have worked for me. Some are customers that have used me to recruit. Some come from professional institutes that I've been lucky enough to present at, so they talk about my presenting skills. It's a way of hopefully enhancing your profile, and it could differentiate you from other people. So target yourself a number of recommendations you want to get, maybe one a month, and try and keep them as up to date as you can, especially when you're looking for work. Okay, articles and blogs. So LinkedIn allows you to add photos, videos, blogs, articles, slideshows, etc. This is something that you can do in addition to work responsibilities, and it's beneficial to give examples of things that you've done and achieved. Adding articles to your profile will show that you've got thought leading information to talk about, or that you're a subject matter expert. So that can be really helpful to help you stand out against your competition. But basically just be active and involved with topics in your industry. And comment on people's articles, as well as writing some of your own, encouraging people to comment on yours. It definitely helps, again, to build that personal brand, which is what LinkedIn is there for. Okay, next thing is to be active. So regularly update your status, share your thoughts and publish events you're attending, etc. As we said, share your articles, but also share other interesting articles from others. Look at the articles that your institute bodies are putting out there that you follow, maybe comment on them, maybe share them. But the more that you can comment and be active and share, the better, really, because it gives you people greater visibility to you, which is what you're aiming for from this. So being as active as possible will make you come up in more people's searches. I believe that's how the algorithms work. So be as active as you can. Okay, so quite a short presentation there. Hopefully that talks you through the basics of what you need to be doing with your LinkedIn profile. And remember at the beginning, talking through other areas of social media and just having them set up before that you look for work. If you want any specific advice, please do contact me directly. My email address is there, chris.goulding@wademcdonald.com. My mobile number is 07850 441347. That's 07850 441347. Please feel free to give me a call at any time. And if it isn't me you want to speak to, which is possible, then by clicking on the links here, you will find that you can get through to the consultant that is probably more relevant to whatever specific field that you're looking for. Go on our website, and as we're talking about LinkedIn, why not follow us then you'll find out about any events that we've got coming up or any content that we're putting out there. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot.